All right, everyone. Welcome to this lunar eclipse Sidereal astrology forecast. This is for January 31st, 2018. All right, so if you're expecting me to say that the lunar eclipse is in Leo, be sure to check out the link down below. We're using the actual size of the constellations, which does change the signs from mainstream astrology. All right, so lunar eclipse this Wednesday in Cancer in the constellation of the Crab. Really good time to do this status check now with this lunar eclipse. It's all about the North Node. It's all about learning. It's all about a shift to our life path. And in this case, integrating these Cancerian qualities of reflecting on things, getting in touch with our soul, with our body, with our feelings, our emotions, right? Integrating this type of energy. So there can be a lot of insight with this. In fact, it's very new for us collectively because the North Node is now shifting into Cancer for the first time in 17, 18 years. So for the rest of this year, really good to now integrate these qualities or at least learn a little bit more about them. So with this Wednesday eclipse, it is like a full moon. It is awareness. It is insight. It is this status check in terms of any new shifts we've had in our life over the past 6 months. All right, so good to do all of this. There's also an opposition up to Venus and a slight square up to Jupiter. So let's look at all of this here in more detail when we return. All right, so here's the chart for this lunar eclipse. So here is the lunar eclipse in Cancer, very close to the North Node, so a total lunar eclipse. So let's talk about Cancer a little bit more. Again, this is going to be this integration now of these qualities of Cancer. So the crab, the crab is this very hard shell and very soft insides, right? And this is a very good analogy for Cancer because this is about protecting ourselves, right? Setting boundaries, right? Having a bit of even privacy, protective life, right? And this is so that we can access and connect to the emotional aspects of life. So what's essential here about Cancer is that this is about connecting to our feelings. It's about connecting to the past. It's about connecting to our soul, right? But in order to do that, we do have to have protective energy. So it's both. Right, it's connecting to both sides of that. So really good time to do the status check. How is your, let's say, emotional life, personal life? Maybe if it's matters in your life, maybe they're family matters or home matters, past matters, health matters perhaps, right? Getting in touch with our body. This is like the foundation of the chart, Cancer, and it represents the foundations of our life. And on a spiritual level, or the most fundamental level, the foundation of our soul, right? That soul connection. Cancer is said to be the gateway of the soul, all right, in ancient times. So this type of connection now to this water, to this receptive energy, where we can care for, protect, nurture ourselves, and also those that are close to us in our personal life. But to do that, it's about accessing those feelings, accessing those emotions, the past. Understanding too that who we are now is a byproduct of our past and of our foundations, and to accept that, even our family and our upbringing, but even past life type of stuff, accepting the foundations that we've been given, you could say, or the foundations that we have, that we're standing on, that we're working with, so to speak, right? So really good to integrate all of this with the lunar eclipse. Since it's involving the North Node, this is all about learning, right? Like I said, it's a very new energy that's going to be with us for the rest of the year. And it's all about integrating this slowly but surely. And this is the first eclipse we have in this sign for, like I said, 17, 18 years. So take it slow. It's all about learning, right? Trying new things and integrating this. So kind of where we're at with the whole thing consciously is up here in Capricorn, right? We have the Sun, Venus, and the South Node in Capricorn. So our focus collectively right now is on responsibility, taking care of things, and integrating a bit of discipline, right? And detachment even in life, right? But doing the work, which is Capricorn, seeing how things take time and putting in the discipline and responsibility to make that happen. So this is where we're at, and rooted with the South Node here, right? So the key to all of this is that what we're most likely wanting collectively right now is this development of maybe achievement in life, these things we're willing to work hard at, that we're taking seriously with Capricorn, whatever it might be. But the key is balancing this Capricorn energy. And that's what the North Node helps us do. So with this lunar eclipse, understanding that in order to have this achievement or whatever this stuff we're taking seriously is, we do need to integrate and develop the Cancerian qualities, the emotional qualities, right? The watery qualities, the reflective qualities. We can't have achievement, success, and our long-term goals if we're not connected to our roots, if we're not working with our roots, if we're not connected to our personal life and the personal side to life, right? So this is the sort of key to the balance, to the integration of balance with the Capricorn. So good to see it that way. And, you know, all in all, I think with whatever insights you do gain this week, integrating them into your life in general, right? There's a lot of insight coming in. And with that, there's a sort of shift and pivot to our current direction. You know, you can think of this lunar eclipse as the halfway point of the past 6 months and now the next 6 months. So if you want to look at this tangibly in your life, you can ask yourself, what new has shifted over the past 6 months in your life? And now, what insight might be coming in this week around Wednesday that's going to shift you and pivot you into, you could say, a new direction, but it's still the same direction. It's just kind of turning the wheel of the car, so to speak, that's already moving, right, in that general direction. So a pivot, a shift based on the insight. And it is a high point of the cycle, so it is good to be implementing this stuff. And essentially for the next 6 months, we will be implementing a lot of the insights that we do gain here around this week. All right, and do check your weekly forecast because I did do this lunar eclipse for all the individual signs. So if you haven't yet checked that out, be sure to do so. All right, so that is the Cancer side of it. So really there's only one major aspect with this lunar eclipse, and it is an opposition up to Venus. There technically isn't a square to Jupiter if you're using 8-degree orbs, which is standard. There is a slight square we'll talk about, but most importantly, it is opposite up to Venus. Okay, so with this, we're also likely rooted in our relationships right now, or our values. More of a focus on that more than likely lately. So now this integration of bringing in relationships into the Cancerian side of things, into the emotional side of things, the receptive, the reflective, the protective, the caring and nurturing, right? Into our current relationships and just into the theme of relationships in general. Now, with oppositions, there sometimes can be events that involve other parties, other people. So there could be something like that this week, which gives us an opportunity to strike some balance, to integrate some of this Cancer energy into relationships. And speaking on Jupiter, you know, with Jupiter and Libra, there is this great opportunity throughout pretty much the whole year of bringing in more reciprocity in our relationships, more balance, more mutuality, right? So maybe doing the work with that with the square, but most importantly, bringing that in with Venus. So there's awareness about relationships at this time. There's also awareness of values, right? What we value in life, and then in relationships, who we value, and how we can integrate this new insight about our values over the next 6 months here with the Cancer energy. All right, and a little bit more on this Jupiter. Again, minor, but if there's any inspiration that you do have, or hope, or even lack thereof sometimes, which can be the square, you know, a little bit of over optimism, under optimism, over inspiration, under inspiration with squares to Jupiter typically. It's good to understand that there are opportunities and to actually take the action steps to ground them, right? To actually implement them with the square. Okay. Great way of working with it. And I think it's a fantastic year for that anyways, because Jupiter's in very good aspect here this year. All right, so that is the lunar eclipse in a nutshell. Here are the aspects involving the moon. No major aspects going on with the lunar eclipse, which is going to place more emphasis on it in general. But those are the lunar aspects here for these surrounding days, for those of you who want to see. But Cancer, integrating this personal energy of life, emotional energy of life, reflective, the foundations, getting in touch with our essential foundation, our soul, right? Using this time to reflect, to connect, to implement, to care, to protect for ourselves and others we're close to emotionally. All right, so have a fantastic lunar eclipse, everyone. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon for the next daily forecast. Take care.